What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the You Know Ball podcast. And we finally have a real trade in the NBA. Rui Hachimura was traded from the Wizards to the Lakers. We talked about that. And then also it was the return of my favorite concept episode that we do here, Trade Machine War Crimes, Volume 2. It was a lot of fun. We had the original gang back on, Sam, Nihilus Bucks, and Panasonic Matt. It was a ton of fun to record, and I hope you guys enjoy this. We dropped this episode early on the You Know Ball Patreon. You subscribe to that. The link is in the description. Also, if you want to submit your Trade Machine War Crimes in the You Know Ball Discord, you can sign up for the Patreon as well to get access to that. All of these, most of these, I should say, were submitted by You Know Ball Discord members. But before we get into anything else, I want to talk to you about our sponsors from Underdog Fantasy, the newest and best place to play fantasy sports and win big prizes. Today, if you use our promo code SLOP, you get a $100 deposit match, or you can use the link in the description to sign up for Underdog today if you have not already. Once you do that, you're going to want to sign up for our Slop season contest, where you can win up to $500 if you guess where NBA players are going to go this trade deadline. We're going to do it for about another week, where you can submit your answers, and then we're going to close it off as we get closer to the trade deadline. So once again, link is in the description for that. First place will win $500, second place will win $250, third place will win $50. So there's a lot of money that you can win on Underdog in the next week. So definitely check that out if you have not already. We've been doing fantasy drafts for the NFL playoffs. We're going to continue that with You Know Ball listeners. I'm going to tweet out the link later this week. I always do on Thursday or Friday, so keep an eye out for that. And then in addition to that, you can always do their pick'em with your favorite NBA players and win up to 20 times your money. It's also available for the NFL playoffs as well. So check that out. Everything is in the description. One last thing though, we will be doing streams from now on throughout the season. Tons of NBA streams during games, especially leading up to Slop season. This week, we have Tuesday night. We have Celtics Heat. Me and Sam are going to stream during that. That will be a lot of fun. Wednesday, we're going to bounce around the NBA for that if that game sucks. So you can go on there and you can actually bounce around on League Pass. You'll definitely going to want to check that out. And then Wednesday night, we have the Ben Simmons return to Philadelphia once again, this time without Kevin Durant against the red hot Sixers. And I know that we haven't been doing a ton of Sixers content recently, so you'll want to check that out to get some of my Sixers takes. And then later this week, we will be doing it during the MVP showdown once again, Jokic versus Embiid. And I know everyone thinks I love Jokic, but obviously I will be rooting heavy for Embiid in the Sixers in that narrative game, which is Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So check out all that stuff. Subscribe to the YouTube if you have not already. Leave us a 5-star review on your podcast platform of choice. Comment your thoughts about the Trade Machine War Crimes episode. Everything you can do will help. And then sign up for the Patreon if you have not already. Thanks. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the You Know Ball podcast. I am your host, Trill Bro Dude, and we are back on our bullshit Trade Machine War Crimes Volume 2. We got the whole gang in here making his triumphant return to the podcast. We have Gregory Smith, aka Nihilus Bucks. What's going on?
Doing great. How about you guys? I finally have a basketball team again. Giannis
So,
and Chris are both here.
Unfortunately, the Bucks have figured it out the episode after Sam and I have been talking shit on them for 2 months without NB present to defend them, and now they're literally destroying the Detroit Pistons as we speak. So
we shouldn't. Yeah, I was going to say this is what happens when the curse has been broken. The curse has been broken, but
you're actually banned from the podcast now. You're not allowed to come back on.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is the last one. So I hope everyone enjoyed the Gregory Smith appearance. He's vanishing.
All right,
and we're
you
gonna
guys,
try and get the
thanks
Bucks
for having me.
Take care. Thank you for coming. And then we all
46.
We also have Panasonic Matt. I despise that name still. What's going on, Matt? It's just the worst.
Tony Reale said it. You can say it. Tony Reale said it without blinking.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, we actually have someone who's been on Around the Horn here. So it's like a credit.
It's funny because I'm the least qualified person to be here.
Yeah. I just think it just upsets me because just having like a nonsense name like that, like who would have a Twitter handle that has just nothing to do with who they are? Really
anyway, so secret.
Yeah. So hey. So follow me, guys, at NBA Baby Secret. It's a pretty normal tag.
Very regular.
Very regular.
Also, we should establish that his name is Sam, since some new people might be listening to this, and he is not Laker Rui guy is not his
I
government name.
I literally never put my name on the thing. It's always something different.
Probably a good thing, to be honest. Yeah,
a little fun trick for everyone. Elon won't get me yet.
If you want to be employed, I would recommend never putting your name on this podcast.
Yeah, it'd be pretty hard to figure out my first and last name. I play that pretty close to the vest.
So,
reporter guy.
It's actually amazing. I think Sam's had fewer accounts suspended since Elon took over. I never would have guessed that.
Yeah, Sam's only had
Sam Sheehan or NBA Sam Sheehan, the predecessor, the follower to Sam Sheehan NBA. I was locked out of him almost immediately. So
let's go.
Elon is on my shit list too.
Yeah, so just so you guys know, Sam was late to the podcast because he had to go find his phone because I sent him the link through Twitter and his IP address has been banned from Twitter.
Yeah, I can't have Twitter on my computer. Also, I'll get instantly nullified. That's what happened. I lost 5 accounts because they were all tied, and I logged in on my computer, and they all just got instantly zapped for ban evasion.
Do you remember? Do you remember in the beginning of the movie Flubber, and like Robin Williams has like this whole like Rube Goldberg machine to make his breakfast? That's what Sam has to do every time he tries to log onto his Twitter.
But that has nothing to do with the IP banning. I just like putting extra steps between me and that because it is psychic torture. And I want to make it difficult for myself.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. It helps with the addiction. That's why I use the mobile app the mobile site for so many years before I finally was like, all right, I just have to give in to my Twitter addiction.
I just need that straight shit right now. But you know what? Days like today are why we have Twitter downloaded. That is why we have the notifications on. That's why I get to see Woj and Shams' stupid little face when Woj tweets at 3 a.m. Oh, check out this Tim McMahon article. Shut the fuck up. Tell me about the trades, old man. And guess what? Today, we got one. It was one of the most dog shit trades ever, but god damn it, was it a trade.
Okay. So not only did we get a trade, but we got 8 Woj notifications. He tweeted about this trade more times than he tweeted about the Kawhi Leonard and Paul George trade that basically changed the NBA, as someone on TikTok pointed out. I was like, this is incredible. I personally appreciate it. I know it's only because Rui got traded to the Lakers, but we have been fiending for Slop so bad. Last year, we had a similar trade to this early in Slop season, and we had Cam Reddish get traded to the Knicks. And that was the guy that I actually had anticipated the Lakers going after. But it seems like Rui Hachimura is their guy. Do we have any real takes on this? Because I have a few takes, and it's just because we haven't had a real trade in so long. I have a fucking page worth of notes on this trade. So what do we think? Do we like the trade, or?
I think if you have more than it was fine as a take, I think you should really take a step back and
I have a problem.
We're past that.
Did Genie Bus need a small business loan from the Japanese government or some sort of other Japanese business interests?
We actually we figured out they did it literally to sell jerseys in Japan. Lakers jerseys in Japan, they're stealing the Wizards' whole flow.
Yeah, bar for bar. This is I'm kind of surprised the Wizards gave up on that. I mean, what Kendrick Nunn? Maybe Kendrick Nunn is wanted in Brazil or something like that. The idea is that they're going to, he's becoming a George Santos staffer, and he's going to go there to kind of clear out whatever check kiting fraud that he's wanted for there, stop him from being extradited. So
as Damian from Twitter pointed out to me, said it's multi-level thinking here. Mm-hmm. In a year from now, Kendrick Nunn's going to be in the Lithuanian league. So, so the Wizards now can sell the retro Kendrick Nunn jersey, and it will be a keeper, classic edition over in Lithuania. So that's the thought process that's going on here. Right. He's a dog shit player, not a good person either, apparently. But the trade basically was Kendrick Nunn and 3 second rounders The two that we know of are the Lakers 2029, that Lakers 2029 pick everyone wanted.
That's not a real pick. I refuse to acknowledge that as like anything.
It's not a second round pick 6 years from now.
In your war chest, whatever, your big board, do you even put that on there? You just go, yeah, sure, whatever, and then forget about it immediately.
A 2029 second round pick is like currently like an unathletic 7th grader.
Yes, it's 100%. Yeah,
that pick might be like quarantined by Imperator Taylor Green when she's like sending the caravan out to Bullet Town, and they need like one more person to join on. There's like the country won't exist by then. Not to steal Zach's flow, but like. This time, actually, we're getting into the end zone here.
Yeah.
The
Lakers are also going to have some sort of climate catastrophe affect California. So, trading the 2029 first round pick is whatever. The second round pick, that's literal dog shit. That's nothing to them. That's fucking flotsam jetsam, dude.
How are they supposed to get LaMelo Ball help if they don't have the 2029 Lakers second?
We're assuming that the Lakers are just going to luck into another star somewhere down the line here. But the one pick that actually we do know, and it's funny because when they said it was Chicago second, the 2023 Chicago second, so this year's Chicago second that the Lakers had, I didn't even know they had it. And I was like, oh, that's actually a pretty good pick. Like, that's an interesting return for someone like Rui, who like people were like freaking out. I was like, he's not really good. And then I realized the Washington Wizards were the ones that got it. And I was like, you might as well just burn that pick on fire. We've talked about this recently. They can't draft for shit. They don't develop anyone. Them hitting on a second round pick would be genuinely a miracle. So I don't really think that has a ton of value. And then there's apparently a third pick. In the negotiations, they said that this is funny to me because like I said, everyone seems to think that Rui Hachimura, who's like a fine player, like a bench scorer, wing-ish guy, that he's fine. I'll put it like this. Sixers fans definitely think Rui Hachimura is one of the greatest players in the NBA because he shot 60% from 3 in the Sixers-Wizards series. So I'm assuming there were like thousands of confused Sixers fans today. Like, wait, that guy that's like Klay Thompson, but 6'10", it just got traded for a bunch of second round picks. How does this make any fucking sense? But like, it's funny. It continues the long lineage of this. Is someone pointed out to me on Twitter as well. This is the 4th straight player that the Lakers have acquired from the Wizards. You had Westbrook in 2021. You had Troy Brown Jr. and Thomas Bryant in free agency and Rui Hachimura. And it's just hilarious to me that the Lakers are like, you know what team we need to copy? The Washington Wizards. So it's really just a beacon of success. And if we can just get their old players, we're going to be cooking.
Hold on. So what if, sorry, Sam, mine's really short. What if they want to just try to like psyop Kyle Kuzma into thinking, well, I'm a free agent. I guess I got to go back to the Lakers. It's like, it's either I have to leave the Wizards and go to the Lakers now.
True.
Like,
Yeah. They're doing their own, kind of, they're trying to force it into reality by getting another former Wizards player
and a former Laker as per the rules. Yes.
So I have in front of me the entire Washington Wizards draft history, and every second.
You should not be able to access that on live.
So this is like if you've ever played like Call of Cthulhu, you know about how you take like insanity damage. I've taken like 40 points of it, and you have like 10 on your health bar just from like reading some of this. So they have like 3 second-round picks who ever stuck in the league, and like 4 of them they traded away. Like 5 of them. So
Can you name one that we might know?
So Bielitsa was technically their pick, but they traded it to Minnesota on draft.
That doesn't count then.
No.
Satoransky, but he was the 32nd pick. So he's like basically a first rounder.
Sure.
Shelvin Mack who you also might have heard of, is like 34.
Yeah.
And he was like something.
Went to Butler, right?
Butler. And then you've got to go all the way back to Steve Blake in 2003.
That is Bleak. Steve Bleak, folks.
Yeah. So we've got Peter John Ramos. Oh, and Andre Blatch at 49. That was the only other
That's
one.
like Andre Blatch is like a massive success at 49.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
But then other than that, you've got Vladimir Varaminko, Dominic McGuire, Henry Walker,
this is the Kane Peel skit.
Arlen Kazemi, who I guess was traded to the Sixers. Oh, and then Nate Walters, who was also traded to the Sixers.
Yeah, I don't know any of these people. This is
you might be a legend.
Jordan Clarkson, who was traded to the Lakers. So I guess
draft night.
Yeah.
They love trading with each other.
Yeah. And then Aaron White, Isuf Sanin.
All right, you're done. I'm cutting your mic.
Yannick Nizosa.
This is disturbing that you're still going on about this.
You could be reading the credits to a Marvel movie, and I
was gonna say actually, at
set
some
designer.
Point he switched to Slovenian serial killers, but it's up to the listeners to decide that actually occurred.
Vic Krejci. If I didn't know Vic Krejci for being the most irrelevant player in the NBA, you might have been onto something there, to be honest.
Yeah. It's basically like that those like Russian like 20-somethings who like disappeared in Dyatlov Pass. That's just those names I was reading there at the end. So.
it was a wormhole in time and they just like stepped out.
Yes, exactly.
So the Wizards so obviously some people were looking at it as, well, they could have gotten more for Rui Hachimura. I'm like, expiring, has had kind of an up and down career. Plays like everyone keeps calling him like a wing, but he's like not really a wing. Like he's more of a 4. Like he's an okay shooter, below average. I don't really know what it does for the Lakers, but the only success that the Lakers seem to have is signing and trading for young players that everyone was like, oh, that guy sucks. Like Malik Monk and Lonnie Walker and even Thomas Bryant, who like is still only like 26 and has played for the Lakers and the Wizards and now the Lakers again. Like they really only have success this way. So I guess I don't really hate it. But the only thing I think that's funny to me is like every time I watch the Lakers, I'm like, man, they really just need shooting and defense. And he brings basically none of that. Like he's not a very good 3-point shooter. He'll get more open looks, but he's never been like a good catch and shoot guy. He's always been below average in that department. And then defensively, he has his issues as well. Although there are some advanced stats that like him, but like I've never really thought of him as like a positive defender by any means when I watch him. So I guess I'm just like, this is fine because they gave up nothing really of value. Lakers can draft a little bit better in the second round, at least, than the Wizards, but they still have the 40th pick because their pick is the 40th pick. So they had 2 seconds. It's a fine flyer. I mean, I guess I like it better than them giving up both of their first or one of their first for a guy who doesn't really move the needle. I don't see Rui Hachimura. And the real thing for me from the Lakers perspective here is how much do they pay him this offseason? Because they have that cap space and like, they've been wanting to preserve that cap space to try to get like Draymond Green or Kyrie Irving or someone that is a free agent this summer. And if they have to pay Rui Hachimura, maybe they're hoping that he'll take like the taxpayer mid-level like Monk or Lonnie Walker did. But then again, you can't really like if they're a success on that, it's hard to re-sign those guys. So I don't know. I'm kind of like iffy on this. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I think it's a low risk move, but I also just don't see like Rui Hachimura really resolving any of the Lakers' current issues.
So,
well, do you think? Do you think they? No, you guys.
Oh, sorry, you go ahead, Matt. No. I'm still looking something up. You go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say. Do you think they really even like started out being like, oh yeah, we need to get Rui, or do you think they just started with like, we have 3 second-round picks?
Who's the biggest name we can get? Yeah.
What can we get for that? Because we're not the season's not going great. We need to make some kind of move early to show we care. And that was just it. That was just like the best they could find for that offer.
Well, especially when you have a fan base that is just always suffering psychosis in a loop, like over and over, and like they get a young guy and they're like, I've heard of him. He's big. He can score. He's going to be an all-star. Like that's what you could tell, because he's not that young. He was kind of an older rookie. He's 24 years old right now. But the Lakers fans just see big name. Everyone knows him because the fact that he, was the first Japanese player to be drafted into the NBA, and the fact that he is a solid player probably makes Lakers fans think that this is a massive win. I think it's a fine move, but I really don't think that I think that you're probably closer to, hey, maybe this will shut the fans the fuck up.
He's a former top 10 pick. You can say that you got like a former top 10 guy.
You mean how Woj was held at gunpoint?
It sounds great.
What'd you say?
How Woj was held at gunpoint to include that they acquired Rui Hachimura, who was the former number 9 overall pick.
Oh, he said that in the tweet. Love it.
Yeah.
Wait,
the other thing I'm waiting. Go ahead, Matt.
No, I was gonna say, how's it been like 8 hours and like he's tweeted like 14 times about this? How do we still not know the second round pick?
We didn't know.
We're thirsty because we're so thirsty. Like you can just farm and get.
Please,
I know.
Yeah,
I know it doesn't matter, but it's weird that it's been this long and like nobody knows what that is.
Yeah, we're getting to the bottom of the barrel like Slop. When Serge Ibaka demanding out of the Milwaukee Bucks is getting like national news.
Yeah, that was like
39-year-old.
That was like game changing. Well, I saw like the Knicks are interested in Grayson Allen, and I'm like, oh my god,
oh yeah, let's go.
Cam Reddish on the Bucks, fascinating.
Cam Reddish is not going to be a Milwaukee Buck.
Yeah, he's not letting us will that into existence.
Yeah. Slop. That's a little bit of slop there for the pod.
Well, the Bucks and the Knicks.
This is Gregory Smith slop.
Yep.
It always comes true.
Yes, but what I want to see happen, because Rui's an RFA at the end of the year, is obviously they want all this cap space for a guy. So but if Rui's any good at all, someone's going to try to sign him to an offer sheet. And they're going to have to
exactly
really Kyrie, we need you to sign this like in the next two days.
So this is exactly what I was going to say. And not only that, I forgot, because he's such a high pick, they've got an $18.8 million cap hold for Rui.
Holy shit! So they'd have to get rid of him and use they basically have to give him the taxpayer MLE. That's the most they can give him if they get a big free agent.
If they want to stay over, well, no, because you can't use the MLE if you're not over the cap. So if they're signing anybody with cap space, they could use the biannual or the room mid-level is the highest, is the most they could use. So,
but in order to get that cap space, they'd have to renounce the rights to Rui, is what I'm saying here. If his cap holds 18 million, that's going to take up way too much cap space, and then you have to renounce his rights.
Or you just sign him into, you just sign him with, or you just sign him, but then that defeats the purpose of having his bird rights, because you have to sign him for a smaller number than you would need. So the order of operations is like a little bit fucked up here.
Sure.
Like, so I don't know. I mean,
you guys are putting way more thought into this than the Lakers front office did. That's
Rob Pelinka's like, what the fuck is an MLE?
What do you, a cap hold? What does that mean?
Birds have rights.
On the other side.
I'm a birds' rights lawyer.
Oh shit! I was
Wizards know they generated the trade exception.
Yeah.
Did they? No, I think they make like the same amount of money.
Oh wait, no, Kendrick Nunn went back.
I was gonna say
Kendrick Nunn's not a real player.
No, he's an NPC at this point. But
they would have if they had enough. If the Wizards had a cap hold that was big enough, but I don't think.
I don't think they had an exception
earlier, though. While we're talking about cap stuff,
no.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly, or I don't even know if this was the same trade or Woj just said to run on sentences together. Apparently, either at the 3-teamer with Phoenix in this trade fell apart, or
I had that
separate 3-teamer trade fell apart with Phoenix.
It's just amazing. Like I feel bad for Phoenix fans at this point, because it's like Robert Sarver's holding the organization hostage. James Jones is like bragging about doing nothing. Even like so he obviously bragged about like, yeah, we don't scout, we don't have a scout. We have 3 guys on our scouting department. And then the Ayton max contract, like we'll have a few Ayton trades in this trade machine war crime thing. The Ayton contract is starting to look like not great. Like, he's a max player now for the next few years. And then you have the fact that, like, Crowder's being held hostage, or Crowder might have made them hold him hostage. I don't really know what the fuck's happening with that situation. But long story short, they were supposed to be involved in some sort of trade here, and they're just kind of doing nothing, and their season's, I mean, I know they've turned it around a little bit recently, but it's basically fallen apart without Devin Booker. So it's just a tough time to be a Suns fan right now.
They're going to have to win 2 series on the road to get back to the finals. And like, that's tough, man. They're not going to be able
series.
to do it.
They'd have to win 3. They're like the 7 seed right now.
Well, when Booker comes back, I think that'll.
Yeah, maybe.
I think they'll settle in at 4 or 5 somewhere in there, but
you would hope. Yeah, I mean, right now, as it stands, they are the 7 seed at 24-24, and they're 2.5 games back from the Pelicans in the 4 seed. But the teams ahead of them, like, I mean, I could see the Mavs or the Clippers falling behind them, but I would have a hard time seeing. I guess I could see the Kings falling off too. But either way, it's not great for the Suns to have a guy, like, I've been saying this for a while, and I'll bring it up there. I don't even think they're going to get a first round pick for Jay Crowder at this point. Who the fuck is going to pay a first round pick?
No one is.
No,
I haven't thought that for a while.
Jay Crowder.
Yeah.
They're not.
So, like,
anything.
what was the point of all this?
Basically, his value is so in the tank that a certain Wisconsin-based NBA team doesn't think they have to give up a certain Duke shooting guard who's okay.
Yeah.
They don't even think they have to give up.
And that's pretty funny because I thought that was like I remember thinking when you were saying that, like, at the beginning of the year, that you're going to get Jay Crowder from Grayson Allen. I was like, come on, you're going to have to give up Grayson Allen. And now I don't think you will. Like,
now I'm like,
get him for like. I'm like,
should the Sixers give up George Niang? I'm like,
what I think is really funny is the way, like, you could do it. This is not slop or anything. It's like George Hill and Jordan Nwora, and they would never accept this, except that it actually will. Sarver doesn't have to approve.
Oh God, because the money. Yeah, you just get the corpse of George Hill and Jordan Nwora, who we didn't even know how to pronounce his name until a week ago when NB yelled at me. And
I didn't yell. I said it was funny. He's so bad. No one knows. National announcers still don't know how to pronounce his name. It's his 3rd year in the league.
That's actually pretty incredible. Yeah, I do want to say, I know that I've had some cold takes on here, and I'm sure you'll call me out for them. But at one point, you did say, "Is Jordan Nwora better than Tyler Hero on our overreaction?"
I did.
Podcast.
He had a really good first month of that year. And
yeah,
he immediately fell off.
Okay, I'm still willing to hear that one out. What happened once Tyler Hero is brought to justice for hitting Paul George's car? I think that we're going to see some things happen there. Did you see that Tyler Hero was caught on film by Paul George hitting his car?
No, I didn't know that.
I'm making a joke because it's that child.
It's
that
a
Tyler Hero,
16-year-old white child with a similar haircut.
I mean, there are a lot of those on TikTok nowadays.
That's what I'm saying. Tyler Hero, the TikTok 6 man.
The TikTok all-star in our hearts. So I have nothing else to add. I think it's a fine trade for both sides. It is a very nothing trade to me. It's hard to really have like a staunch opinion. The one thing I will say is that, like, I don't know. The way that everyone reacted to this seems like everyone thinks that Rui Hachimura is probably better than he actually is. But I still think that he's young enough and competent enough that he has a pathway to being like a useful NBA player, even on a good team. But it is funny that, like, we're talking about like the 7th or 8th man on like the Washington Wizards. Like, it's a big deal. Last year when it was Cam Reddish, everyone was like, how could you get Cam Reddish for only a first round pick? It's like, well, at least Rui Hachimura is way better than Cam Reddish. Like, that's like the one thing I could say. Better than Cam Reddish, fellow top 10 pick from the 2019 draft. So that should go at the top of his resume.
And true, as you pointed out, Rui's a 4. That's probably not what you want when your team moving forward is LeBron James and Anthony Davis. But that said, he is like a high upside guy. If
in theory,
for guys who were available for this price, he probably has one of the highest ceilings of guys you could realistically get for this price.
Sure.
So,
or do we just say upside and ceiling is because he can score? That's what I can't ever figure out. It's like,
Well, he's athletic, you know, like you never know. Like it also seems like Rui like has struggled with some mental health things. So
that was a big thing for me last year. Yeah. He didn't play 30 games because of his mental health, and it's like that's if you know that almost you feel like you can erase a year of his career and kind of look at it now like if he's seemingly doing better now, and the hope is that you just get him into a system where it's like, hey, your job's really fucking easy. You can play with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and you're not having to like carry bench units like you did in Washington.
He's also going from like the most evil city in the world to like
one of
like well, just a vapid city where like everyone's hot though. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone's hot. Look, so like imagine if you're just like walking around and you see like I don't know, you just see like fucking Kissinger or something going into a meeting like that. I understand. That's
very appropriate for this podcast. War crimes.
That's a good segue.
One group of people that were on the flight logs to another group of people that were on the flight logs. Just leave it at that, folks. All right, so we are going to get into the trades here. Let's get going. I have about 15 to 16 trades I'm going to pull up on the screen, and then we're going to riff. So this time I'm going to try to force my way through and say the names of the players that are involved in the trade before things go off the rails. I apologize to those listening on the audio version because I'm sure with Matt here it will get derailed very quickly.
I'm just thinking like there's only so much space in my brain. I know we're gonna go through these. I'm gonna forget like what my grandfather sounded like. The information's just gonna replace it.
Reddish makes $5.9 million, and my mother's name is
last four of my social security. Any other information you want to give up?
My late mother's laugh replaced by Dwayne Dedman's cap hit. No, I was saving that one. Shit. Anyway, 4.7.
Jesus Christ. This is what we call dunked on brain, folks. All right, let's get into it. Let's get it. All right, so this one was proposed by someone in the Discord. All of these were proposed by Uniball. Speaking of Cam Reddish, the Hawks could use another wing with some upside. The Hawks get Cam Reddish. I can't even get through this one. The Knicks get Justin Holiday and the Hawks' second-round pick. What do we think of this one, guys?
So the Hawks basically got a first-round pick for a year investment and get a second back?
Actually, it was a fake first from the Hornets, so they'll get 2 seconds. And then, so they gave up, they got 1 second for a rental of Cam Reddish on the Knicks.
I just realized what this trade. This is the fucking Family Guy a boat-to-boat thing. So you trade Cam Reddish, and then you lose Herter to bring in Holiday, and then you trade Holiday to bring Reddish back.
Let's go.
And
you're trading Kevin Herter to send Cam Reddish on a year and a half.
Don't forget don't forget that second round pick. Look, with the Hawks, they got a new front office in there. They might be trying to get some fresh blood in. Maybe the old front office didn't like Cam in the same way that these new guys do. It's an interesting trade for both. I do like that everyone keeps talking about like these guys, like what they would get on the trade market for the Ruiz, the Cam Reddishes. It just seems like if I'm any of these teams, I just generally talking about Cam Reddish's real trade value. Is there any situation in which Cam Reddish pushes a team from like, even if he's like a playable bench wing, is there any situation where he takes a team from like solid to good, or like if he got traded, or even like the Sixers, who are a good team, like makes them a better contender? There isn't a single situation in the NBA where that is the case. So why would you ever trade anything for him when you know that the Knicks aren't going to match his offer sheet this summer if you gave him one?
Well, if you are playing the
people like
Bucks
people like you
6 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and you need some guy to come out of nowhere and go
make 7 threes.
Yeah,
that's the Sixers might need to actually in second thought, the Sixers need to trade for Cam Reddish so that it's possible that maybe Chris Middleton or Drew Holiday or someone will experience like a slight amount of PTSD if Cam Reddish hits 1-3 in the beginning of like game 3 of a series. You never know. It could swing a series.
I was gonna say we were gonna start this as like, haha, look at these funny trades, and Trill's gonna talk himself into the Sixers trading for
Norris down or Chester, I can't remember.
My final takeaway on this trade is that if you are like, so Cam Reddish is one of these guys who has like way more clout with the players than like anyone else.
100%. Yeah.
So like if you were trying to like formulate a Hoopers roster in like free agency, that would be my pitch. Is like, yo, Anthony Edwards, if you want to come here in like 2 years, like we have Cam Reddish, the guy who put 40 on you once. So,
yes. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah. Very good point.
You know, it just, if you're laying, that would be the only way I could think where getting Cam Reddish would kind of help with that. So
you're planning in the future. Like sometimes you get LeBron James to recruit. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get Cam Reddish to recruit based on his 2017 high school mixtape.
Exactly, and I think it could work. More importantly,
it's honestly I like that big. It's a big brain plan. I think I actually, now that you put it like that, I think the Wizards should get him. It might convince Kuzma to stay. Which it's actually the funniest wrinkle we didn't even talk about, which we talked about last week, Sam. Yeah. Which is they're gonna like Kyle Kuzma might get $40 million from the Washington Wizards this offseason per year.
What else are they doing?
And then they have $90 million in Bradley Beal and Kyle Kuzma. Then what?
What could go wrong? Oh, $130 million if you include Porzingis. It's all good.
Big three, baby. We've never seen these guys play together before. We don't know what it could be.
The Mid-Atlantic three.
I'd like to point out again, they are with all of these guys, they are They are currently 12th in the fucking East right now.
Let's go.
Right now.
Let's go.
Plenty of room to grow.
A lot of upside with that group, you know. Yeah, so many prospects to look forward to.
The Raptors are having this disaster.
2029 is going to be a big year for the Wizards.
Yeah.
Bradley Beal is making $200 million somehow.
I do want to say
even more money.
I do want to say with this trade though, the NBA would be more fun if they had like a soccer style where you could just loan a guy out for a year and get him back.
Yeah, you just get that would definitely 100% help because the Sixers literally just need one wing who can play off the bench in the playoffs and they're golden.
Can you imagine how much money laundering Sam Presti could do loaning Shea out to like various teams year after year?
Shea is a king. He got $40 million.
God damn! Like shit. Did the Kings win the title? Yeah, they had Shea on loan that year. Came back.
I kind of want that actually. Now that you say it, yeah,
that actually would be kind of sick. Like,
no, but we know what would happen is that really all that would happen is what already happens, which is that apparently DeAndre Jordan is the coolest man in the world, and every team needs a DeAndre Jordan in their locker room, and then they just get him on loan, and then he ruins your playoff chances, and doesn't get your coach fired because he makes more money than the MLE. Anyway, on to the next one. Not mad about that at all. Not mad about that at all. All right, so this is a trade that NB sent me earlier, and I had to bring it up because this is where we start to get into like real. I wouldn't even say this is war crime. This is like slight treason area here. We have the New York Knicks. What's that?
The Arrested Development. I may have committed a minor amount of treason. This is not my trade. I want that evident on the record. I didn't make this myself.
Wait. Tro got so mad before when he saw this because like it was on the ESPN trade machine. But I feel like all the war crimes should be on the trade machine. It feels wrong when they're not.
Yeah,
it should all be made
dirty.
With like a 2007 trade machine vibe.
So I've been talking with a listener about how war crimes are investigated. Someone who like works adjacent to the ICC, and like I would I wouldn't call this a war crime, but I would definitely like hire a fact-finding team and like get them on the ground, like interviewing, people in the villages surrounding New York and Phoenix. Like, hey, like, is everything good? Like, what? How's everything going?
We saw the Hollinger analysis in the trade machine. The PER is just out of control.
Yeah, was that wild?
So I haven't even said the trade. So for audio listeners. Grayson Allen and Serge Ibaka to the Knicks, Jay Crowder and Emmanuel Quickley to the Bucks, Cam Reddish and George Hill to the Suns. So I just want to say here, the funniest part about the ESPN trade machine to me is that you can include picks. So every time someone sends me a screenshot that they're like, yeah, I guess that team would get like 2 firsts, but we don't have it documented. So I'm assuming that there should be some picks moved around here because the Bucks get 2 good players in Jay Crowder and Emmanuel Quickley, and they send out Grayson Allen. That's basically it. Because Serge Ibaka, as we have explained, is
Jay Crowder has no trade value. Yeah. The Knicks want both Grayson Allen and Serge Ibaka, so clearly they'll give up
Quickly. Sir Emmanuel Quickley, as you read.
Cam Reddish has no trade value, and George Hill is George Hill.
Yeah, I don't think this one's going to work for anyone but the Bucks. Although
that's why it's good.
Yeah,
I'm keeping a mental track. We've got like 2 Cam Reddishes and 1 Jay Crowder so far.
Cam Reddish has already been traded. Cam Reddish is just going to be that guy that's he's like Miles Turner in that like he's been on the trade block since he was drafted, but he's always on a different team. Like it's just like, oh, we got Cam Reddish, and it turns out he sucks. like who could have known? We only had like 4 years of sample size to say this. No, shout out to Cam though. He's future Sixer Cam Reddish.
This guy, he is literally the difference between Luka Doncic and Trae Young. So
yeah,
you got to think about that.
Yeah. True. Yeah, if you were to show the gap between Trae Young and Luka Doncic, one Cam Reddish can fit directly in between the two. So
value because our king, our persecuted king Travis Schlenk would never make a mistake.
Justice for Schlenk.
Yeah. Cam is gonna rectify him. He is going to be.
That's right.
He's going to be cleansed.
If we can get Cam, just get me like. Since you said the players love him so much, let's just get him 1 fake All-Star appearance so that we can say that it's like a few years ago when Julius Randle made it, and I guess he could make it again this year.
Yeah. But how about Andrew Wiggins last year? Like that's what all we need. So anyone who's like stand up like BTS or Luna or any like Korean band, just say Cam Reddish is a huge fan.
Let's go.
Let's get this circulating. Cam Reddish.
Cam Reddish for also, and then that and the players respect. Mm-hmm. You're talking about that's going to be real vindication for our boy Travis Schlenk, who was unjustly.
Honestly, if there's any Knicks fans out there who want this idea, if you're good at Photoshop, just Photoshop Cam Reddish at a Luna concert and like put that on. You will be fine. He will be voted into the All-Star team first ballot because the players will. We
need some diversity here for the older crowd. We can put him in a One Direction concert when he was like 15.
Yeah.
They'll go out there and vote for him too. I'm telling you, they're all psychos. So, all right, let's move on.
Exactly. No, I did not. Hold on. I did not agree with what this man said. I do not dox me. Do not publish my thing. It is just this man above me. I am innocent. I respect you and all of your people.
It's true. Yeah. I like that one Harry Styles song, so we're good.
Yeah, stop being.
Oh God, here we go.
now we have real war crimes, baby. Oh my God. Now we have actual war crimes. I had to blow it up and put it up on the screen.
Okay, so for everyone who's listening, Trill is going to go through this trade. I would estimate the font of all of the names is about 3-point font, probably, because of how many guys are on this fucking trade that I'm looking at.
Well, this trade was from like 2 months ago when everyone still hated Tobias and wanted him off the Sixers. Which I think there's still some people, but now I think that they'd probably still do a trade like this, but it's the Sixers get basically the person who made this just said, hey, you know how the Sixers need a wing? We should just acquire every wing target that we've had for the past 3 years. All you guys need to know here is that the Sixers get Justin Holiday, Reggie Bullock, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Dorian Finney-Smith, and they give up Tobias Harris, George Niang, Shake Milton, Matisse Thybulle, Furkan Korkmaz, Jaden Springer, 2 second-round picks, a first-round pick in the future. I don't even know.
A top 10 protected 2029 first-round pick. Please say the entirety of the.
Yes, which is the most desirable asset. Yeah.
I want to see the person's thought process of putting this trade together and go, hold on, we got to protect the picks.
Well, look, Anthony Davis ends up in the Hawks in this trade, and he's got an injury history. You can't be giving up, unprotected picks for a guy like that. We got a lottery protect our 2023 pick if we're the Hawks.
Top 8 protect? What kind of illness do you have? Top 8 protection.
So this is like if Jack in The Shining wrote out that whole all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, and then at the end went through and proofread it with that's what the projections are.
Oh shit! Forgot a comma here.
Yeah.
We haven't even touched on Indiana Pacer Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. Okay. We have Well, there was a long period in time dating back to the last trade machine war crimes that we did, where Russell Westbrook ended up on the Pacers. I think last time Tyrese Maxey also ended up there because we got Malcolm Brogdon and Karis LeVert, which fantastic. So we have the Pacers getting 5 first-round picks. Why do the Pacers get 5 first-round picks here? The only players they sent out were Buddy Hield and Miles Turner and TJ McConnell. And they get 5 first-round picks.
No. They sent out Goga.
And they gave a first to the Mavericks for some reason.
Yeah, the Celtics pick, which is literally the worst first round pick. It's basically a second.
This is a good one.
Well,
I love this.
I like that the Lakers are sending out Anthony Davis and 2 first-round picks, and they are for their troubles they get Tobias Harris,
Miles Turner, Buddy Hield, George Niang, and Shake Milton. You basically have a whole new team after that if you think about it. And they at least play games is the one thing that they have over Anthony Davis. No, they're not one of the 10, 12, 13, 15 best players in the NBA, whatever he is, but they will play games on a basketball court, and you can't put a price on that.
Well, they also had to give up the only 2 first-round picks they have until Florida sinks into the sea.
Well, you got to send that to the Pacers to take on the Russell Westbrook contract. So, this is a monstrosity. I love this one.
This one is some nasty business.
This is disgusting.
Yeah.
Atlanta Hawk TJ McConnell is also fun.
Yeah, he really fits the vibe of the city. TJ McConnell needs to get a lifetime contract with the Pacers. He can never play for any other team.
Yeah, I would say he feels like he can't leave Indiana under any circumstances.
They tried to make TJ McConnell and Quavo just.
He wears a free Young Thug shirt before a game.
It's a shame the show ended because he would have been a great cameo in Atlanta.
All right, let's get into the next one. Oh, this one is specifically for Sam.
I think it looks good.
This one makes me so mad.
This is great. This is a great trade for both teams. The Boston Celtics acquire Bam Adebayo and Caleb Martin. The Miami Heat acquire Jaylen Brown and Robert Williams. Actually, now that I think about it, it might make the Heat still too good. So I don't like it.
Obviously, they're getting like the fucking 15th best player in the NBA, and one of the guys,
Robert Williams,
upside. Yes, and then also Jaylen Brown. So I disgusting. I hate it so much.
It feels like Boston should have a guy named Caleb. That just feels.
It fits the vibe. So the funniest part about this is this was actually posted by a Celtics fan in the Discord.
Show me them. I will.
The context was if the Celtics flame out, Celtics flame out in the playoffs, I would do something like this.
You need to go. You need to be brought to my re-education camp. I will bring you to a CIA black site. We will teach you everything. Because look, I get people are like frustrated with like Rob and like Jalen can like kill momentum sometimes, but you're like trading like just Jaylen Brown's like better than Bam Adebayo, and like Robert Williams is extremely better than fucking Caleb Martin. So like, what are we doing here?
It was actually Sam who posted this in the Discord in like a Tyler Durden kind of thing.
My own Fight Club thing. I woke up with I was like Memento. Actually, I woke up with like a Polaroid of Trill that just said "Do not believe his lies."
Do not believe his slop.
Do not believe his slop.
The end scene of this movie is Sam standing in an apartment with a gun in his hand.
Yeah.
The Celtics just lost in the second round to the net somehow. There's just a 9/11 type explosion going on in the background. Where's my mind starts to play, and then this trade goes through.
You met me at a very weird time in my life. The last thing people won't believe that because now Troll, you put it out there what I'm actually like when I'm watching games. Like I've had like multiple people reach out to me in DMs like, "You good?
Are you fine?"
Yeah, it's like it was pretty alarming what was going on during that day. I was like, I thought I was watching the Celtics blow a game to the Hateful Warriors. I'm sorry.
Oh well, if that's a good advertisement for our stream tomorrow night during the Celtics Heat game, if you want to see Sam go full psycho mode,
I hate the Heat more than any other team, and that's including the Lakers. I get that might be blasphemy, but I do want to see this team just curl up and I want to see the arena in ruins. It will always be FTX Arena to me. I know technically let's always remember that it was called FTX Arena. That was something that it was.
No, it's Miami-Dade Arena now, which you know that's not going to last long because
they couldn't even just call it the Miami Arena.
No, I think it's Miami-Dade.
I'm saying they couldn't just stick with Miami. They had to go all out with it.
They're going to pick another company that delivers exactly what they want. So this is the Theranos 2 Arena. The Theranos 2 Arena will be coming to
Welcome to Raytheon Raytheon Center.
Welcome to Tesla Center, the stock that's only going up. Only good news
in perpetuity. Let's
Please
go.
Buy.
All right, let's move on to the next one here. We have another one from the ESPN trade machine. It does feel right in my soul.
I'm good with it.
You like it? You like it? Yeah. So this is basically
like this one, to be honest.
Is Jonathan Isaac allowed to cross the border?
He's gonna get flagged by like this game, like it's like how the 1-6 like rioters can't like travel. Like it's the same thing.
Oh my god!
That list that leaked by the Pokemon guy yesterday.
He's going into Canada and he's bringing in a literally something that takes the vaccine out of your body. So this trade is the Raptors get Jonathan Isaac and Bol and then the Magic get Fred VanVleet. I believe he did say like what?
I'm actually having a stroke thinking about what the propaganda would be if Bol was on the Raptors.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like perfect. Yeah. It's like perfect. No,
honestly, the only thing you need to throw in here is Mo Bamba, and we have literally Masai's sicko dream completely fulfilled. No guards. No guards, all wings, forwards, bigs, 7'5" wingspans. I mean, you got to think that they consider it. I mean, the Magic they probably would consider something like this if Jonathan Isaac wasn't like, the godfather of the children of the DeVosses who own the team. So
yeah, they're not letting him go.
No, he's too the best asset in the NBA according to them.
Yeah.
How much ivermectin would he try and bring with him over there?
But by the way, so they actually activated Jonathan Isaac today, which is crazy because I saw of those videos of him 45 days after he got the Pfizer first jab, and he looked rough. Yeah. So
they activated Jonathan Isaac. It's also what they said on January 5th.
And to have him play low for a little bit.
Yeah, I did see that TikTok. It was just him doing the Harlem Shake after he got the Moderna.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Shout out to conservative superstar Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah, we love him, folks.
He's
great guy. Good to see him have a return tonight against Sam's Celtics.
The Celtics are going to lose, by the way. That's
of course they can't beat the Magic, the super team that is the Orlando Magic.
They've also everybody's hurt. We're going to see J.D. Davison tonight. Let's go.
Let's go. Well, it's good news for you because you were going to tune into the game anyway to watch Jonathan Isaac, and then he happened to be playing against your Celtics. So
I've had this circled on my calendar for years. I always was going to watch Jonathan Isaac play. You know what's crazy is I actually really liked Jonathan Isaac in that draft before I knew all the stuff going on.
You knew that he was a good player. You just knew about his religious beliefs.
Exactly. Yeah.
Political. I loved him.
Well, I just remember early on, it was it's sad. Nobody came to Jonathan Isaac. He was giving a sermon, and
he was a pastor.
I was that's kind of mean. You want to show up for your teammate. It's I'm finding out now. It's okay. I get it. All right.
I understand now. Yeah.
I was because at first I was that's mean. Come on, your guy is out there giving a sermon. Go hang out with it. And now it's absolutely.
Yeah, makes a lot more sense now with the context that we know now.
Yes, exactly.
All right, let's get on to the next one. This one was funny to me. You could guess who made this trade if you think about it for 5 seconds. I don't know. First off, this was made an NBA trade, and it wasn't. There are no picks involved at all. Somehow, it's a pick. No picks. So the Sixers get Jimmy Butler and OG Anunoby, which is great. I'm sure that we definitely have the trade pieces to make that trade happen. The Hawks get Kem Birch, Pascal Siakam, Duncan Robinson, and Matisse Thybulle. The Raptors get Kyle Lowry and Trae Young. And then the Sixers the Heat get Tyrese Maxey, John Collins, Tobias Harris, Furkan Korkmaz, and Paul Reed. You know what's funny is I looked at this trade originally, and I was this is way too lopsided towards the Sixers, obviously. Right. But the more I looked through it, the more I was there's actually good players going to every single team. I don't think that this is realistic at all. Mm-hmm. But
I want to interject here. Just how dog shit the Raptors are offensively. They're sending out their two best players in OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam and are +5 on offense in this trade. Trae Young. Kyle Lowry is probably a negative this trade. Trae Young by himself has +502.
That's right. I mean, going from Pascal Siakam to Trae Young running your offense is, quite elite.
What I also love about this is it's innovating new ways to make the Raptors even more unwatchable. Because the amount of free throw grifting that Trae Young and Kyle Lowry would do on either end might be one of the grossest things you've ever seen on a basketball court.
It's true.
And I say this is a Marcus Smart guy, even grosser than that.
Yeah. This was done by a Sixers fan, if you can imagine it. I mean, would I take Jimmy a starting 5 of DeAnthony Melton, to James Harden, Jimmy Butler, OG Anunoby, and Joel Embiid? Yes, I would. It would be fantastic. This is the only situation in which I'm ever trading Tyrese Maxey, by the way. Just so you know, this is what the kind of trade it would have to be. I'm that Maxey pill that I'm not letting him go for anything less than a top 12 player and one of the best role players in the NBA at the same time.
This trade makes sense for everyone but the Raptors, who are taking on Kyle Lowry's dead salary, getting Trae Young, and then sending out Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby, who are both probably better players than Trae Young this year.
Are you questioning Masai?
Yeah. Right. Are you questioning this theoretical Masai trade that a Sixers fan made up?
Masai is signed off on this.
He said, "Good to go. I've always wanted a 5'11" point guard running my team. If you know anything about me,
I think Masai might see Trey's wingspan and like throw up. like no way.
Okay, did Kyle Lowry pay someone at NBA trade? This is completely quirk and completely unrelated. Every single player here has their height listed except for Kyle Lowry.
That's true. Yeah. No. Wow. Kyle Lowry does not have a height. You can't find it anywhere. That's actually incredible.
Ass circumference. I don't need to know his height. I just need to know how caked up.
Yeah. How caked up is Kyle Lowry? They need to start measuring that at the combine.
The low key thickness rater.
Yeah, exactly. How thick are you?
It matters, folks. It matters. I'm a part of Draft Twitter. Okay. So this one was just hilarious to me. And I said we needed some DeAndre Ayton love because we didn't get any DeAndre Ayton trades, and he's currently quiet quitting on the Suns, playing like dog shit on a max contract this year. But also there are many players like that involved in this trade. We have the Timberwolves getting Ben Simmons, DeAndre Ayton, and a Nets first round pick, 2029. The Suns getting Rudy Gobert and the Sixers 2027 pick from the Nets. And the Nets getting Karl Anthony Towns. So what is the word? Is this literally like we took like the 4 players that no one wants their contracts and we're like, let's just swap them all around?
I actually kind of like this for all the teams, to be honest. Like, I think the team I like it for the least is the Suns.
If you're keeping track at home, I think this is like 40% of the war crime trades that they've talked themselves into.
Yeah. Okay, like, I mean, tell me if I'm insane, but does Ben Simmons and DeAndre Ayton actually kind of theoretically make a little bit of sense as a front court? Just because, like,
4 or 5.
Well, that's kind of the thing with like DeAndre Ayton is he wants to be like a long twos guy, like, and like he's always been kind of like he's kind of like reinvented himself on the fly, but he wants to be like more of like a cat style guy. So like maybe
why do you hate Anthony Edwards?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Ant was already complaining about Gobert like making it so there's no space in the lane or anything like that. You're gonna put Ben Simmons and DeAndre Ayton there.
It would literally be like a car crash happening in the lane every single night.
Okay, but think about this though. Rudy Gobert does not stream. He doesn't do anything with Call of Duty. He doesn't know about ×2 experience weekends.
Yeah.
DeAndre Ayton and Ben Simmons would be incrable squad mates if like
Anthony Edwards that's a good point
to pick up the sticks.
That's true. Good point. So, yeah. Rudy Gobert, only famously known for starting a pandemic, has never played any sort of video game to my knowledge. I actually, it's funny because I looked at this at first and I kind of had the same reaction where over time, the more I looked at it, the more I'm like, am I actually losing my mind? But I just think that giving up Ben Simmons and 2 first-round picks, as much as Karl Anthony Towns has been a disappointment to me, and like makes a ton of fucking money, and I get it. And like the DeAndre Ayton contract is going to be hard to get off. The Gobert contract is going to be hard to get off, and same with the Ben Simmons one. But Karl Anthony Towns to me is by far the best player here, and the Nets get him for just giving up 2 first-round picks and Ben Simmons. Like that seems like with KD and Kyrie, like that's an offensive juggernaut. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. This is just a kind of a let's move the deck chairs around on the Titanic for all teams involved here, except for the Nets, who I actually kind of like it for the Nets. Overall, on the war crime scale, it's not that much of a war crime, really. It's just kind of
okay. Yeah,
it's fine. An infraction.
It's an infraction. Yeah,
it's a sanction.
Minor violation. A sanction. There we go.
It's not a war crime because like they're all already war crimes.
Yes, they've
so
all.
It's just like exchanging.
Yeah, like 60 million here, but yeah, they're moving money around, folks. Like the U.S. government. I don't know where that was going. All right, let's get it. Okay, so this is a real trade that someone proposed that is not a war crime. It's somewhat realistic, I would say. Involves the Suns again. The Suns get Pascal Siakam. The Raptors get campaign DeAndre Ayton and 3 first-round picks, 25, 27, and I'm assuming that's 23. Yeah. Top 5 protected in 25. So basically, we had a similar trade idea recently. Basically, the Raptors are trying to remain competitive with DeAndre Ayton, but they still get 3 first-round picks. I don't hate this. I actually think that the Raptors wouldn't do it. Because I just think that everyone's going to view people are going to view Ayton like, we got to get a pick to take that contract on because we don't know if he's going to be I still think he's like a $20-25 million a year player, but now he's making like mid 30s. Like, I don't think it's a positive thing in a trade is what I'm trying to say here. And Pascal Siakam, he does have a year and a half left on his contract. I think he has a player option after the year, if I remember correctly, so he can be extended. So we know Sarver's not signing off on that. Yeah. But this is the kind of trade that I would be looking for if I'm the Suns, and I'm trying to salvage the season and the title window with Devin Booker.
I'd call and let them say no to me, that this is the kind of stuff you got to try. And I think, I think it's closer than people might realize. I understand Pascal Siakam's like an all NBA player and he's gotten better every year, but also this is a pretty good return pick wise for a team that, as we can see, are always a Devin Booker injury away from being absolutely in the shitter. So
true.
There's a lot of risk here for the Suns. And if you're willing to tough this out as the Raptors, you could be coming into a lot of really juicy picks, as Scotty Barnes is hitting his prime. So,
I was going to say, though, you have Pascal Siakam at center. You could put Bridges at the 3 or the 4, Cam Johnson at the 3 or the 4. Those are your wings. Plus Devin Booker. And Chris Paul has been playing better as of late. That's a pretty good starting 5. And you might even be able to get some bench player back for Crowder. I would definitely, like I said, I would be looking at this kind of stuff if I am the Suns. And thank you for bringing up Scotty Barnes because I saw a great Reddit post earlier that I wanted to bring up. In our NBA, this was posted by a Raptors fan, if you can imagine it. In only his second year, Scotty Barnes is 7th in assists for players above 6'9" with 4.8 assists a game. The only players ahead of him are LeBron James, Jokic, Giannis, Durant, Sabonis, Siakam. 4 MVPs, 4 Hall of Famers, and 2 All-Stars in Siakam and Sabonis. Scotty Barnes is in his prime. Will average a triple-double, and he will play defense unlike Nikola Jokic.
No, I love that. A little Jokic slander.
Let's go. Stick it to a Raptors fan.
Is a Raptors fans identifying that Jokic will continue to be an MVP candidate into his 30s because he doesn't need to age well at all. So I like that, getting ahead of the curve. Yeah, start tearing it down right now.
I'll say I am in a weird spot now because I've recognized that Jokic is one of the best players in the NBA. So I have Nuggets fans that follow me that think I hate Jokic because I make fun of how much the media sucks him off constantly. And then I have Sixers fans who follow the podcast that think I'm a Jokic stan because I've recognized that he is good. So it's a great spot to be in for me right now. Not saying he's the worst player in the NBA. You're actually a bad Sixers fan.
Yeah, no, this is my thing is whatever side Andy Bailey is on, you probably want to be on the other. So I feel pretty comfortable. I feel pretty good. Wait, it's just a general rule of thumb I have online, and it's worked out pretty well for me.
You mean Andy Bailey, who tried to say that Sabonis is better than Giannis? Did you catch that one, Andy?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, just a coincidence that those two players happen to be, whatever.
The infamous one from 2018 was comparing Joe Ingles to Jason Tatum.
Oh my God! Come on!
No, I'm not kidding. You can look it up. I doubt he deleted it. But
Andy, you have to be more subtle with your racism. Come on, dude.
Come on.
Jesus Christ! Anyway, that's pretty egregious. Anyway, I'm looking forward to your show on the Blaze Sports, bud. All right. All right, this is my favorite one of all of them. I had to include this one. This was titled, God. "I Will Fix the Raptors." The Raptors
get that's like in the Snowman when it's I gave you all the clues, Mr. Policeman. You couldn't favor. You find that written in blood at a crime scene. Raymond Valcoro stumbles in drunk to that crime scene and throws up.
Our favorite character from our favorite season of True Detective, Raymond Valcoro.
I think he's good. I think he's underrated. I gets too much love. We gotta stand Valcoro.
Yeah. Thank you for having the most irrelevant HBO reference possible. Welcome. The Raptors get Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan. They get the band back together. The Bulls get Fred VanVleet and Otto Porter. The Heat
also going back home.
Oh yeah, yeah. Otto Porter returning back home to Chicago, where he infamously threw a house party during literally the second week of COVID. He threw a 200 person house party. And then we have Gary Trent Jr. and Thad Young going to the Miami Heat. Honestly, of all of these, it's funny because I looked at it at first and was like, "Well, this is obvious." I don't think I would do this if I was any. It just doesn't make sense for anyone, except for maybe the Raptors, because the Raptors might lose Fred VanVleet and or Gary Trent Jr. for nothing after the season. So at least you get DeMar and Kyle Lowry back.
What do you mean?
What'd you say?
The Heat would do this in a second. You said
no, I agree. No, I agree. I think that's the only team that would for sure sign off. You get Gary Trent Jr. for Kyle Lowry, yeah, obviously.
I mean, the Raptors get the best player in the deal too, so I think they would probably do it.
So we're signing off on this. The Bulls fans, are you excited for your
fans? Yeah, I was gonna say the Bulls are the piece. Would you really want to trade DeRozan for VanVleet? I don't know. I doubtful.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. An expiring Fred VanVleet when you don't even know if you're gonna get him. Fred's a solid player, but DeMar's definitely better. And it's not one of those situations where it's DeMar is capping the ceiling of the Bulls. They don't have any title chances anyway. So right. it would make sense to not try to trade for Fred VanVleet if you are the Bulls. So all right. Fred's a good player though.
Oh no. Oh
yeah. This one was, I don't even remember when this was from. I had to include this one just because of the sheer amount of players that the Chicago Bulls acquired here.
This is one of those ones where you try and piece it together, find what the nucleus of it was, where to start and how they layered it.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened here. For the audio version, I'm not even going to waste my time reading out all these players. But the core of it is DeMar DeRozan ends up on the Lakers. D'Angelo Russell ends up on the Bulls. Russell Westbrook is back to the Wizards, along with Miles Turner and Naz Reid in a first-round pick. Kyle Kuzma ends up on the Timberwolves.
The 2026 first. The famous.
The one pick that would actually fuck up trading all the other picks. They can't trade that pick. Yeah.
Yeah, this is trading 8% of the league. There's 24 players in this trade. So I don't, and 4 picks. I don't.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of the Bulls ending up with both famous Lakers whites with having Caruso and Reeves on the.
Yeah, it's a good look. Yeah. They'll also get a savvy veteran like Chris Duarte. Oh, trade doesn't work. Rui Hachimura. The Lakers are also involved, though.
Yeah, they're already involved.
Trade.
They're going to spin this out into a 5-team trade.
There we go.
The Lakers is just the first step. It's going to, this is going to break at 2 a.m.
The prophecy finally fulfilled of the 5-team trade for Nihilus Bucks.
So a good way to figure out where it started is look at where the most plus wins and minutes per game and all the good stuff is. And then look at the player. So this definitely started with getting DeRozan to the Lakers,
100%, because they have plus 4 wins here.
Yeah, and then it's okay, we got to send Westbrook to the Pacers. Okay, so the Pacers got to get something. Let's get Porzingis in here. Shit. Now we
another.
So let's get Will Barton and Kuzma to the Wizards, and then maybe
the other sign
Reed to the Wizards.
Again, they bothered to make the 28 first round pick from the Lakers top 3 protected.
Thank you.
The 2027 Wizards pick is top 10 protected.
These are the things you have to think about when you're creating war crimes. This is a real war crime for sure. I would rank this up there.
This is really nasty.
My favorite part about when people submit these, not even know, like I want to put it like this. We used to do it like, oh, submit us your most ridiculous trades, but like there are people in the Discord, and I love them for this, that will like post this and be like, yeah, this is something that would happen. like has a trade like this ever happened in the NBA? The answer is no.
We have breaking Fisher Slop.
Ooh.
Well, it's a dead Slop, but it is Slop. He learned that the 3-team trade that Woj was talking about was Phoenix, Milwaukee, Washington.
Okay.
Rui would have went to the Suns and Crowder to the Bucks, and I don't know how else it would have worked, but
probably
anyway,
Grayson or
to
the Wizards.
To the Wizards,
Yeah. Look, you wouldn't have gotten a foreign player if you're the Wizards, but you would have gotten a Duke alum, which is just as effective in selling jerseys. So
was this, or did we find out, did that fall apart because this deal was originally being backed by Ted Cruz, so he had a body double for assassination attempts, also walking around Washington?
Ted Cruz was pounding the table for the Rockets to go through with it and get. He's a big Rockets fan, so he was trying to get Grayson to the Rockets.
But I'm saying he wanted Grayson in like Washington. Yeah. So if there's like another riot, he could be like, "Hey, Grayson, come on over here," and just like swaps out like his clothes for him, and then like,
damn, I didn't know Ted Cruz was so tall.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah. It would definitely work though. All right, let's move on to the next one, which is submitted by a Sixers fan, so I had to include it. The Jazz get Matisse Thybulle, Jaden Springer, and the Hornets' second-round pick, and the Sixers get Jared Vanderbilt. How does he the Jazz would do this? The Hornets second. Yeah, we have the Hornets second. It's like the 34th pick in the draft.
Okay.
The question is, do you think that who could they get for Jared Vanderbilt? Like, who's the best player? Like, I don't think they're going to get like a great prospect, but he does have this year and next year left on his deal. He's a very good defensive player. He could fit on some teams offensively. I think his fit offensively on the Sixers would be disgusting with Joel Embiid. But then again, so is PJ Tucker's.
Sam, cover your ears for a second. If they don't think Rob's knee is that good, the Celtics could absolutely give up a future first for Jared Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I don't
think they would give up a future first for Vanderbilt. But
he's so good. What do you mean?
He is pretty good. I mean, he's good, but he's also one of those guys that I'm like, he's good, but I want to see him on a good team before I really give a shit. Like in the playoffs last year, he did struggle to stay on the court because his offensive game is super limited, but he can also be super effective, and he's just gotten better every year. He's still pretty young. Like, I don't hate it. I think analytically, a lot of analytics guys like Jared Vanderbilt, so I wouldn't be shocked if it's a guy that Morey has because he would help with the rim protection and the rebounding, which is the Sixers' biggest flaw when Joel sits.
I actually looked at something like this with like Peyton Pritchard and
like Gallo at first or something.
Yeah, the Peyton Pritchard's like, I think the money's just there with Peyton Pritchard. You do like that, and
you get another white guy in Utah. Danny Ainge's boy.
So, Peyton Pritchard is actually good. Like I know it's a bit, but he's like actually like a pretty good player. But you do that in like the Houston.
I muted his mic again for saying Peyton Pritchard is actually good. All right, anyway,
and then you get you also have the Houston second round pick, the Celtics.
Yeah, sure.
Play with does
NBA trade have Matisse Thybulle listed as a stretch big?
Yeah, everyone knows.
Roll and cut big, so.
Well, Jaden Springer being a roll and cut big means he just can't shoot or do anything, really. Matisse Thybulle being a stretch big is funny because he's not a big and he can't shoot at all. So I don't know where that came from, but shout out that.
A shrink small, much like me when I'm in the pool. Folks, do we know about this one? Have you heard of this one? It's a good joke.
George Costanza.
It's Seinfeld. I was watching Seinfeld with Baron. A disgusting joke about a man's body.
Why is Trump British here? Or like South African?
It's Bill Simmons.
Oh, it's Bill Simmons?
Yeah, I'm kidding.
Bill Simmons if he had the original Boston accent.
Kyle, turn the TikTok camera on. Is George Costanza overrated? I love this guy. If he was running the Yankees, It'd be incredible. I want to live in that alternate reality. I actually told House, I want you to build me a time machine so I can go to this alternate reality. And House died building it. Mr. House. Check it out. Simply safe.
Did that turn into Mitch Hedberg for a second?
A little bit. It was a little Mitch Hedberg, like the way that the way that he pronounced the end of the question.
Yeah.
I went to the DoubleTree Hotel.
Yeah. Man, you gonna tell me that Matisse Thybulle is a stretch and a big? No way.
Oh my god. Oh, all right. So
that joke is very funny for our millennial audience.
Yeah, everyone will look
it up. Zoomers, look it up.
Yes. Yeah. So okay. So yeah. I mean, I don't think the Jazz would do this, but then again, they like Taylor Horton Tucker enough to trade for him, so maybe they'll like Jaden Springer or Matisse Thybulle.
I just don't think what's the best, because the teams that want Jared Vanderbilt are going to be good teams that have small money amounts.
Yeah.
Was Jared Vanderbilt getting paid on his next contract?
Sure.
Willing to, give up. And so what you're getting is probably going to be a bad player and a first round pick. That's probably pretty shitty for a guy that you're getting
late end of first, maybe beginning of second, like the Hornets pick. Like
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's not that crazy to me. I think it's like and Matisse Thybulle, you can squint, like he is an NBA rotation player. Like if you get the right guys around him, like, I don't know.
It's not the worst trade. I mean, I do think it would be funny if the Sixers' entire rotation was just power forwards. Like Elton Brand's dream would finally come true. George Niang, PJ Tucker, Tobias Harris, Jared Vanderbilt, and then all guards, no wings. As much as Thybulle can drive me crazy, he's at least in theory a wing. And we would have Daniel House left would be our best option. So that would not be fun. So, all right, let's get on to the next one, which is okay. So this is one. This was before we knew that Kuzma was going to get paid $55 million a year by the Wizards after the season. But Kyle Kuzma to the Bulls for Patrick Williams and Kobe White. Which, like, if they were to trade Kuzma, this is the kind of trade they probably would be looking at. Which is you get a guy in Patrick Williams who I believe has a year and a half left on his rookie deal. He's up for an extension after this season, but you get a season to look at him. He's still only 21. I know that he's not very good, but like, I don't know. I've talked about this before, but just wings who can shoot and defend, so impossible to find. And if Kuzma's going to leave for nothing and you can get a guy like him, I don't think the Bulls would do it because the Bulls had the opportunity to trade him for Jeremy Grant and didn't. So I'm assuming that they wouldn't trade him for Kyle Kuzma.
Well, and you also get a chance to put Patrick Williams in the Washington Wizards developmental machine. He'll definitely come along at that point.
That's what he needs, really. He needs to be needs to go play with Beal.
Yeah. Every time we see a guy who's like a power forward go into Washington very young, it's always good.
It's always worked out.
It's always worked out. It's always good. Nothing bad has happened. So.
Yeah. He'll end up a legend on the Sacramento Kings.
On the bright side, this trade would open up the market of the country of North Carolina for.
Oh yeah, when they succeed, when the North Carolina state legislature succeeds in 2022, that will be a foreign country. So
I'm not even sure.
Is it?
Did you say 2023? It is 2023.
No, he said 2022.
He said 2022.
He's going back in time.
I am an old man. My brain is literally dying. Like in my head, I was like, "That's in the future." Like
too much Dwayne Dedman.
It might be 2023 in your Yankee calendar.
Yeah, North Carolina. Here in the distinguished South, we only recognize the year 2021.
It's funny you say that because I literally had a meeting scheduled for tomorrow, and I looked at it on my phone, and I was like, why does it say 2020? Like, I was confused legitimately for a minute. I was like, 2023, did I accidentally book this 2 years in advance? And I was like, oh no, it's 2021 and 2022 have already happened. This
2023, this really does feel like the first like space year. like we're finally in like the Star Trek timeline here. Like
I took the 2023, but that's just because like this is a weird take. I feel like years should always be odd numbered. Even numbered years just don't feel real to me.
Like 1992, not a year you like.
No.
94, Illmatic and Ready to Die didn't do anything for you.
Nope.
Pulp Fiction came out that year, I think.
So the year 2000 ends. Yeah. 2002 starts, and everyone in New York is like, "What the fuck? What happened?"
Where'd they go? Fucking shit.
Oh, we're in Afghanistan? Jesus. Why is everyone waving the flags around? I don't.
They're called freedom fries now. I don't understand.
This country. What the fuck?
Well, let me just go take a flight. Get there 15 minutes beforehand. Clearly, I can wear my shoes.
I gotta ask President Gore what happened here, man. I mean, what do you mean?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Shit.
Sir, a second year has hit the New York.
Damn.
Oh,
we somehow got in a 9/11 bit by the end of the podcast. You knew that it was.
We were trying to we were plotting out the pod, and we were like, "Where are we going to fit this one in?" Probably
we got it. We figured it out, folks. Yeah. Mission accomplished. Thumbs up.
Thank you, Kyle Kuzma and Patrick Williams.
American heroes.
I took a sip of water at the wrong time. The idea of Patrick Williams and Kobe White causing 9/11 is very funny to me.
Were they even born? I don't think Patrick Williams was born, or he would have been born that year.
It's the perfect alibi.
All right.
Hold on. Patrick Williams was born August 26, 2001.
Guilty.
All right, there it is.
Oh, very conveniently, a few weeks before.
Yeah. It's like Kaiser Soze walking out of his bassinet, and his limb goes away as he walks.
It was actually funny because people were tweeting earlier making fun of the Cowboys, and they were like, since the Cowboys last made it to the NFC Championship game, Jalen Hurts' parents met, had him. He was raised. He, went to multiple colleges, came up through the NFL, and has now made it to an NFC Championship game before. And they were saying all this, and I was like, this is funny, but it's also making me feel extremely old.
Yeah.
I feel washed as shit now that you describe that, because I'm much older than Jalen Hurts. This makes me feel bad.
Yeah,
can we own the Cowboys without making me feel bad for turning 33 this year?
Yeah,
Thank you.
I need a safe space.
Yeah, please.
Person.
Yeah. Eagles fans slandering their own kind. Can't believe it. All right. Okay. I don't know if this one's realistic.
This is not realistic. I don't like this one. Ugh.
The Lakers get Rui Hachimura. The Wizards get Kendrick Nunn and 3 second-round picks. This person found
Wizards
out.
Couldn't even pull the Wizards couldn't even pull this off. They had to get a 2029 second-round pick.
Well, unfortunately, the person who made this knows which Lakers pick. This person might actually be Woj, might have been the person who submitted this, and he's just not telling anyone. He knows what the 3rd second-round pick is. So there we go. Yeah, I thought I'd just throw that one in there. Not a realistic trade at all.
I do. Now I'm obsessed with how the trade machine is categorizing these guys, because Rui Hachimura is a stationary shooter.
Oh, that's what we all know Rui Hachimura for.
What we all know Rui Hachimura to be is just a
guy who stands in the corner.
Yeah, he's basically Sam Hauser. I think they're pretty much the same player.
Same guy. Yeah. Japanese Sam Hauser is actually his nickname.
Rui's actually better than Sam Hauser now.
Yeah,
so
actually,
yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. Nope. White American guys, they don't work out a lot. All right, let's get on to the next one. This one's actually a realistic one. I had to include some realistic ones. So
why?
For fun. This one is Marcus Morris, Brandon Boston, and the Clippers 2028 first-round pick for Bojan Bogdanovic.
Are we sure they have that pick?
I think that's the next trade that the next pick they can trade.
Okay, because I knew the Thunder had their shit on lockdown. Because I don't even know if
actually it might have to be the 2029 pick because I think
I will figure it out. Yeah,
no, because I think the Thunder have their picks through 2027, which is just insane. Like
they haven't even started conveying yet, right? Or they did?
No, they had one. Trey Mann was the first one that conveyed, and that wasn't even the Clippers pick. That was from the Heat, and I only know that because the Sixers had it, traded it to the Clippers for Tobias Harris, and it became Trey Mann in the.
So 2026 is the last one. So
okay, so they technically could trade
that works. Yeah, the 28 they can trade. Yep.
But if you're trading your 2028 pick and you have no flexibility, like with any of your picks, I like Bojan Bogdanovic a lot, but he's 33. I guess this is your fuck it, we're going all in move, and he's the best player available. And like the Pistons might do it because Brandon Boston is like a flyer guy, and you just get a future Clippers pick, like
which will probably be pretty good.
And you could always flip Marcus Morris. Like, I don't know. I don't know if the gap between Marcus Morris and it is pretty big now, actually. Bojan's really good now. I mean, their offense could definitely use some juice, some extra shooting, maybe, although you have Luke Kennard already. I don't know. It's tough.
This is probably one of the most realistic ones, and that's why this trade deadline is probably going to suck. Why when you you're just going to see me and Trill just going insane because this something like this is going to be the best trade of the day,
and we're going to lose our minds. We're going to be oh yeah, to the Clippers.
Let's go. This changes everything.
I will be injecting morphine into my arms as we stream to celebrate.
I will be in the K-hole when Bojan is traded.
You're just like laying on the floor. Like, does it feel like the earth is spinning to you guys right now?
Like, you ever feel your blood move through you? Anyway, I think Bojan could be great for the Clippers.
Anyway, how do English people take this every day?
It's crazy.
British love their ketamine. They know. All right. Let's move on to the next one because this one's too realistic. This is another realistic one, actually. As we get towards the end, there are more realistic ones. This is just something I want to see. I don't think that. So the idea behind this is the Pelicans get Miles Turner. The Pacers basically just get salary filler in Devontae Graham and Garrett Temple, and the Lakers 2024 first round pick. So not this year, but the next year. And if you're the Pacers, you've been trying to get those future Lakers picks. So maybe the thought is you don't come to an extension with Miles Turner. You finally make the fucking trade and free us all from the prison that is Miles Turner being on the trade block. Mm-hmm. And it makes a lot of sense for the Pelicans because they need a rim protecting big who can shoot. Like that would be the ideal fit if they're healthy. So,
but here's my thing though. Because don't like the Pacers have one of those like undead owners like who's like circling the drain?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. He doesn't want to rebuild because he might die soon. Like not a bit.
Exactly. Like I think that's like the thing is like he just won't greenlight any sales and like the Pacers. This is like the best Pacers team of like the last 10 years.
Sure.
So like.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say best bet. Well, when healthy, they're like, what's his name? Herb Simon. He's 88. So yeah. He might be like my last dying wish is to see us make the 5 seed because I'm the owner of the Pacers. And one
of the worst make-a-wishes of all time. He's just taking the adrenochrome that needs to go to like a child. Well, I need to see TJ McConnell lose in game 4 in the first round.
Well, as Nihilus Bucks has pointed out before, they're legally obligated to be somewhere between the 6 and the 10 seed. So this, the 5 seed would probably be his dying wish, to be honest. So shout out to Herb. I hope he's doing well.
Good,
real quick. I know we don't discuss these like real trades, but I'm gonna need more than the Lakers 2024 first take that disgusting Devontae Graham contract.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I probably want 2 first if I'm the Pacers.
I think that one's like kind of deceiving. I think it's only 1 year left. I think the last 2 are like not guaranteed or something like that.
But it's still like Devontae Graham's really bad. Yeah, I mean like
it is gross. Yeah. It is effectively dead salary. But It's just like not as bad as you might think.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, too realistic. And then I think we only have one left. We might have two left, but we'll get into it. There we go. There's our boy.
This is what carbon monoxide poisoning.
As I'm zooming in on these names. Hold on, give me a second here.
You have to read them.
Okay, ready? I can't. PJ Tucker, Jared Dudley, Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, Nick Collison.
Is Carmelo Anthony even in the league?
No, neither is Nick Collison, Jared Dudley. Jared Dudley is an assistant on the Mavs.
And now he's gonna be an assistant on the Thunder.
On the Raptors. He's on the Raptors. Yeah. Nick Collison hasn't played in like 4 years. I don't know how he's still on the trade machine.
Did you listen to the low post? I'm sorry, I forget the gentleman's name. It was somebody from The Athletic.
Andrew Slack. I love Andrew. I've been on his podcast before.
He was great. Yeah. And he was bringing up that like NB's boy will never wants to be the new Nick Collison of the Thunder.
Kendrick Williams.
Yeah, Kendrick Williams.
Yeah.
He'll never leave
Loves
the Thunder. He wants. Loves Oklahoma City. And
I only know this because Andrew told me this when I was like, Andrew and Alex from Saturday Slam and Jam were like, no, like he's a lifer. I'm like, him and Muscala, dude. They love Oklahoma City.
Does that hurt MB to hear that?
No.
Kendrick Williams.
He's like, I'm fine. I've moved on to midder targets than Kendrick Williams. Shams actually said it today on his show that he has on FanDuel or whatever, and he was like, yeah, so they actually have gotten offers for first round picks for him, and they've turned it down. And I'm like, why are we still talking about this? Like, Kendrick Williams is a nice player, but he's like the 9th man on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like, as we just spent 30 minutes talking about Rui Hachimura getting traded. Same thing. Same fucking thing.
They're letting the inmates run the asylum. So
absolutely. All right, yeah, there's nothing else to say. This is just a monstrosity of...
we didn't even describe for audio listeners. This is just a trade where like every 17 players and 12 picks each all going to different teams. It's really
this was... I want you to read this off like, Yakko.
Okay, ready?
All the countries of the world.
Yeah. OG Anunoby and your George Niang and Furkan Korkmaz are all on the Thunder. Yeah, we're gonna leave it there. Well, I do think we actually, as Matt pointed out earlier, this trade actually doesn't work because Rui Hachimura gets traded, but the Lakers are also involved, so they could make this trade. So we're good.
I think the Raptors give up too much. I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure the Wizards say yes to this one.
I think the Thunder say yes because they get LeBron James. But...
And look how many picks they get, dude. They get. I don't know how many they gave up, but they get at least like 10 more first-round picks.
It's all Raptors picks, though, as you can see. So.
Oh yeah, it's dog shit. Yeah, no, absolutely not. No one wants those. Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Well, that, by the way, shout out to at Spooka Doncic. That was his post that he had the other day. I had to include that. But anything else we want to say here, Sam? Anything that could get us canceled, or you usually include?
I tried my best. I had a lot in there.